Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you're the lucky or unlucky bunch that's with me. How unlucky? It hit me here. So how's the day been so far? Yeah, have you learned something? Yeah, you've been talking and going around. Show me your stars. Show me your stars. No stars. What is this? I mean, we're generous to give out gifts and nobody wants the stars. Huh? Food was too good. Oh. So I think actually the food was better today. Yeah, the variety and yeah, that's good. That's good. Good feedback. And Agile is about that, right? Iterations and feedback. Yeah, so we are listening to you. That's good. Now, we are in for a wonderful leadership track. And the whole idea is that there is a high level of interaction and engagement. Okay? I know you're after lunch. And as Sri Lankans, we usually like a prayer on a Saturday. What are we doing?
Sleep.
Are we? I thought you guys work on Saturdays. I don't work. I'm a banker. IT doesn't work. Lucky fellows. See? But the thing is, now you need to be engaged. And that's definitely going to happen with our next two speakers. Yeah? So we are having a bit of a... Is it okay? There you go. But not the one. So what I love about the whole concept of Agile, it's a flavor that Janani has brought in. It's not only about agility. So there's an element of coaching that happens. Yes? And one thing that we learn as leaders, there's a lot of time that we have to spend mentoring and coaching our next level. Do you agree? Yeah? Yes or no? Yes. And I'm sure that all of us can say that we've been fortunate enough to have someone who did that for us, mentored and nurtured us. Yes? And that's why we're here today, because of those people in our lives. Yeah? So it's always good to do that, and it's always good to have that full perspective. Though we are in tech, and I use the word we, because I consider myself part of the business side of tech. I've been in the retail side for a long time, working with my colleagues, developing programs with them, looking at the user interface side of it. So it's always important to have that outlook when we think of how we can change the world with our technology. It's always good to have that human focus as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into that particular area, and this is a wonderful part of how we look at snow on the screen. Agile, yes. Yes. So have I told you this story? See, I'm a trainer by profession and by passion actually. And one of the things that I've noticed in my bank is when I've been given opportunities to do training, they always give me a particular session. Like a prayer in the agenda, I'm given that session. Post lunch, after lunch, yeah? Yeah. There must be a reason for that, I guess. Yeah? So I'm hoping that it's a happy reason. Other than, it's difficult to, even as a trainer, to be awake at that time. So just imagine, yeah? If my audience is not awake and I also fall asleep, it's not gonna work. So one thing I realized is that, you see, the engagement is about how we choose to engage. Because everything is a choice. Do you agree? Yeah? So how do we make those choices? Are we okay?
We're always okay.
Yeah? We're always okay.
Yes.
There you go. Beautiful landscape of someplace. All right. Okay, so now we can actually start off. So it's that choice that we make. It's even that choice about, do we serve another spoon of rice or an extra serving of dessert? Yeah? Whether that tiramisu piece is going to stick in our tummy and activate a particular person in there. All right? Other tiramisu di banana. No, because I did not eat dessert, so I'm just improvising there. So we're going to start the session now, but I'd like you to remember that there is a person inside of you that is going to prevent you making the right choice. You know who that person is? There's a name for that person. I figured it out. 21 years of being a trainer has helped me figure it out. That person, we call it, and I'll translate it. In the local speak, we call that fellow Bade Hinganna. Bade Hinganna means the beggar in the tummy. Loosely translated, beggar in the belly. Right? Right? Have you heard of that? Bade Hinganna? So, Pichchaikaran in Tamil. Right? And what does that fellow do? Until you eat, the fellow is always saying, hungry, 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 hungry. And then the moment you eat, what does the fellow say? Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. Close your eyes, don't disturb me. Right? And letting all that food that you ate ferment inside. So now it's up to you. Your choice is, how do we prevent Bade Hinganna from coming between me and what I want to learn? Okay? So the choice is yours. Yeah? And I hope that you will make the right choice. Yes? Okay, so here we go. This is a wonderful session that we're getting into now. We have with us two wonderful ladies who are going to take you through this program. Right? And so the program specifically is, we're going to do about how to facilitate a generative conversation in the workplace. And to take you through this session, it's my privilege to invite Evelyn Tian, Certified Enterprise Coach, Coach, Mentor, and Supervisor. Give her a round of applause.
I go up.
And Janani Liyanage, who's wearing a different t-shirt now. She is the director, co-founder of Business Agility Tune-Up. Ask her about the logo on the t-shirt later. But right now, another thing that I'd like you to know, there will be Q&A, and they are happy to facilitate the questions as they appear. So there is a way for you to share the questions. Yes? You already know that? Yeah? So please do share, and I will be sharing the questions with them. So over to Evelyn and Janani.
Hey, thank you. Wow, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And as we know, we are Agile, so we inspect and adapt. We will do it without the display until it's fixed. Yeah. So first, a short introduction. I'll start with me first. So my name is Evelyn Tian. I'm China-born Canadian from Montreal, and I live in Sweden. Many of you ask me, where do you go after I go back home and go to Stockholm? And I've been working with professional coaching back the days I was in technology field. I was, some of you from telecom, we have this troubleshooter for mobile switching center. That's the highest level for troubleshooting. So that was my technical background in telecom. And then I started to feel this training I took on coaching, that's so powerful. First, the impact I noticed is I was able to have more meaningful conversation with my son. Of course, I work also more meaningful conversation with my team, with my project managers, and with even, my managers. I coach up. That's why I took the step forward and start to take more and more professional coaching training. And then when I start to work as an Agile coach back in Ericsson in 2009, and I was a head coach for a PDU, product unit, with about 2,500 people. And I think part of my success in my career also contributed to my professional coaching skill also. So it didn't take long. I was the head coach for a BU, and that's like 25,000 people. Then I was the head of Ericsson Global Transformation Support Center. And then I felt with the coaching, I was able to have more meaningful conversation with projects, programs, portfolio, pretty much everybody at work. So that's why I continued. Today I'm an advanced coach mentor and coach supervisor, and that's also why I brought coaching to Ericsson, coaching-based leadership globally to Ericsson, and also started the Enterprise Coaching Institute to grow more coaching skills for technology leaders like you, like everybody else. So that's about me. And now to Janani.
Right, so I'm Janani Liyanage, Director, Co-founder of Business Agility Tune-Up. It's a great pleasure to work with Evelyn and have this session with you all. So who am I? I love to create creative learning spaces for people. That's why this conference is also for you to learn, for you to connect, challenge conventional thinking, and be more agile. That's how I serve in as a director, co-founder of Business Agility Tune-Up, as well as in the global chapter of the ECI, as well as the director education. And coaching is one of the most beautiful gifts that I found in my leadership journey, because coaching helped me to be emotionally aware, emotionally resilient, and always find my highest potential. If you look at even organizing a conference at this scale, need a lot of attention to detail, as well as have the big picture view, and also influence a great dynamic audience and groups and teams. So coaching helps me to give this emotional agility and resilience, and that's why I love about coaching.
Okay.
Yes, so we are going to have a conversation with Evelyn, right?
Yes.
So, Evelyn, how do you like the conference? Do you like the conference?
Yes. I like the conference.
Okay. This is the first time you're in Colombo, right?
No, this is my third time in Colombo. I love Colombo.
Right. Did you like the weather?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how do you feel about the whole conference?
I love the conference. What I love most is really the all of you and the energy and the passion and the networking, the conversation and the sharing. And particularly love, I organize events also. So I particularly love how the organizers are putting all of this together. And this, given the current economical situation globally, and some countries are struggling, including US, struggling to have their conference up. And you guys, with all of you, so passionate, I love the conference.
That's great. That's great. So how do you find Colombo?
I love Colombo. I actually love Sri Lanka in general. I love people, all of you, because I feel, I work a lot internationally. I have students in 82 countries as of last April. And I think I like how you guys are so positive, the smile you guys have, and also how peaceful you are, and also the bonding. All of you so nicely all work together. I also love the food as well. I have been eating a lot of tropical fruit. And also, I love the colonial architecture. And also, I find what's unique in Colombo is, some parts of the city really, really busy, a little bit even noisy, if I could say chaotic a little bit. All of a sudden, you could have some place so quiet. And I just love it. I could stay here for another hour and talk about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Evelyn, would you like to talk about what kind of questions we talked about and what kind of conversation just happened?
Lovely. As you noticed, so now we have the technology supporting us. So as you noticed, just now when Janani and we started our conversation, she was asking quite a few questions. My answer was very clear. Yes, no. Yeah. And then later, when she was asking some other questions, such as, how do you like the conference? As you see, my answer, did you expect what I was supposed to answer? And how did you like Colombo? The part about architecture, part about people. I could stay here, as you see, for another half an hour, talk about it, as you see. So therefore, when we're having conversation, there are always two type of conversation we could have. The question we ask, one type, that's called closed question. One part is open question.
Yes, so what your closed questions are? If you'd like to share, when you say closed question, what does that mean? right? You have only option say yes or no, right? You actually close the conversation by that, right? So that's a closed question, right? About open questions?
Open question, as you noticed, it also asks for an answer. Agree? I had to answer. However, at the same time, there wasn't such a thing as yes, she answered right or wrong. Instead, her question sent me to deep thinking process. What do I like about Colombo? What do I like about the conference? So therefore, when we talk about powerful question, as you see, there could be new insights that you never thought about that I could have answered that actually surface on the table. And then at the same time, help me to build more awareness as well. Particularly if you take that conversation into a work-related conversation, maybe something I didn't think about my project. I never thought about that. Now Janani is asking, so therefore I can build better awareness, better new insight that I did not have before. That's also why open question, we call that powerful question.
Yes, so you can see the closed questions really close the conversation. Open questions that open up for you to talk more, and powerful questions. Powerful questions is an invitation to think, right? So let's take a couple of examples. Yes, so we can ask some powerful questions from certain words, starting with like how. Right? How would you like to see this conference evolving next year, for example? That's a how question, right? What is it more important, or what makes it really important for you to be here right now? What makes it significant for you to be here right now? Okay? And where would you like to see yourself next year? Where would you like to see yourself evolving next year? Or else you can ask, when do you really challenging yourself to take this learning to actions? Because in this conference that you are really making certain notes and taking some actions, right? But when are you really planning to make it really happen, right? Or else, why? Evelyn, do you talk about the why question?
Certainly. So why question certainly also puts you into thinking process. Why? For instance, why do you like your job? At the same time, well, sending you to deep thinking process. At the same time, imagine if I just meet you for the very first time, then I ask you, why do you like your job? Then you answered. Then I ask another follow-up question, another why. Possibly before I ask the third why question, you might run away. Why? Because you feel interrogated. Who is she? You feel so interrogated. So therefore, why question is a powerful question. However, when do we ask? How do we ask? You want to think about it. So therefore, some possible replacement question of why. That could be, any of you? I really want to know why you like your job. Instead of using why, what could you do?
And I just remember a powerful questions around why, which was asked from one of my managers about 10 years ago. No, even before that, 12 years ago. So I was a software engineer, getting ready for my next promotion. So I've been working really hard. And for my utter surprise, my own utter surprise, after working really hard and getting exhausted in front of the computer, I used to go straight away to Toastmaster clubs. So I was asking myself, like, what am I doing? If I'm exhausted, I'm supposed to go back and sleep. Why am I going to Toastmaster club, right? And one day, one of my managers asked, what do you like about the job? I said, I really like it. And I kept on saying, blah, blah, blah. I like coding. I like to fix bugs and everything, right? I said, like. And then, what do you love about Toastmasters? She asked. And I said, totally different thing. And I said, then my manager said, hey, you like your job, but you love Toastmasters, right? So that was kind of a moment, defining moment for me to really see what I like versus what I love to do, right? And that was that way my journey evolved from totally a technical career to transformative leadership journey. So powerful questions is a really, really important questions that is an invitation to think.
And while Janani was sharing her story, do you notice she answered my question? I asked you earlier, why do you like your job? What did she say? What do you like? Do you see? So therefore, you don't have to always use why. You can use what, a very easy replacement. Or in the situation, I'm really curious about maybe what factors, what reasons. So therefore, why is powerful. At the same time, you want to evaluate a bit how you ask. And another two, a little bit tricky about where and when also. For some of you that either took my class before in person a year and a half ago, or we met last time at the conference, if I ask you, for instance, where did you meet Evelyn? If Janani is asking you, do you see now? That one is very different from the where question Janani was asking, where do you see yourself a year from now? That where has a yes and no answer. If you don't say Colombo, it's wrong. The same happens with when also. If you say, when did you meet Evelyn? If you don't say October 2023, that's also, Melanie, right? That's also wrong. So therefore, all of them are ways to ask powerful questions. At the same time, the key is about, are you really sending a person to thinking, deeper thinking, building more insight, have more awareness? Now we have looked quite a bit into asking questions. That's easy, right? Agree? Are we still awake? Easy, easy? Yay, lovely. So if it's easy, let's practice a little. How about that? Yeah. So practice. So what we would like you to do is that you form a triad, if possible. 3 people together. If you really don't have 3, a pair is okay also. Yeah. And what do you do? So that is when you're working together, one person will act as a speaker. Your job is to speak. Yeah. And the second person will be asking open questions. See what's in the parentheses? Only. You can only ask powerful questions. Yeah. And then you, of course, make the conversation meaningful. Right? You cannot just say, how do you like the conference? How do you like the food? How do you like this? You keep just asking, and it's not a meaningful conversation. The person answers, you have to ask questions that make sense to the answer. Yeah? So that is the second person's job. Third person, what do? You observe. What do? You pay attention to the speaker, and you pay attention to the person who's asking questions as well, to see what are some discoveries, what are some your insight when they're working. You look very ready. Ready? Yes, let's practice. So 5 minutes. One person speaker, one person ask question, one person observe. Okay, now let's get started. Okay. I hate to disturb you. However, 5 minutes just flew by. I could feel you having so engaging conversations. So, what are some new insights you discovered? Anybody? How did you like the conversation? Good. Many of you are nodding. What did you like about the conversation? Lovely. You love the flow of the conversation. Fantastic. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, so when you ask open questions and you continue carry on the conversation, yeah, fantastic. What else? Yeah? Fantastic. I noticed Praja was really serious observing. Good job. Yeah? Yeah, with one slight opportunity for advancement. Yeah, only one. Fantastic. Good job. Good job. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody in the back? Okay, fantastic. Understand the speaker better. Yeah? Anything else? From anybody else? Okay, so you stay at the personal level, maintaining that relationship. Yeah, fantastic, lovely. And now I have a question for you. When you were having that conversation just now, how did you know the other person is listening to you? I hope they did. Did they? Okay, they did. Okay, that's relaxing. How did you know they were listening to you? Huh?
Follow-up questions.
Okay, follow-up questions. What else? Facial expressions.
experience,
Fantastic.
Yeah, facial expressions.
Yeah, so non-verbal. Non-verbal. Lovely. Anything else? Okay. Okay, great, great, fantastic. Anything else?
Anything else that you notice that, oh, that person is really listening to me? Acknowledging, right?
Anybody
How
nodded?
we acknowledge? Yes.
Anybody
nodding.
nodded just now? You saw your partner nodding? Fantastic. Also, did they look at you? Or were they looking at their phone? Thanks to mobile telephony, right? Lovely, fantastic. So, great. So you had a meaningful conversation and your listener was listening to you. Now let's take a look at the listening.
Yes, so listening has two parts, okay? One is hearing, the other one is listening, right? So what is hearing? When you say you hear or you listen, what's the difference? Paying attention is what? Hearing or listening? Listening. What is hearing then? Yeah, we hear people talking, phones ringing, all these things happen, and say, oh, okay, if something is happening, but you didn't really register the meaning and intention of it, right? So if you look at the hearing, it's a very automatic, passive process, right? It's at the very subconscious level. Because your ear, that's the work of your ear, right? So your brain pick up some sounds, right? But your mind will not really register the intention or meaning behind it. Maybe here also, you might just hear that we are talking, but you may be thinking, what's going to be for the dinner, right? You must be somewhere else, right? Or when does it going to really, oh, I'm tired, I want to go home, right? Your mind could be totally somewhere else, but you're just hearing things, people are talking, phones ringing. Or else, you could be really listening, which is a very active thing, right? It's very active and it's very conscious. That is, you choose to be present here fully with yourself and paying attention to what is being talked and even what is not being talked, right? You pay attention to the speakers, their body language, their gestures, the meaning of what they are saying. You choose. It's a conscious thing. You choose. You can get the best out of any of these sessions is if you choose to be fully present in this session. So that way, it's quite active. It's a conscious decision. Because in hearing, it's the work of ear, and listening is work of work of mind and heart. You choose to do that.
And this is why when you're really, really listening, you will notice, wow, while we were talking, you know what? His eyes light up. New insight he just discovered. And possibly also you'll notice, wow, he was talking about the frustration he had with his team. He was sitting lower and lower. All of a sudden, new insight, oh, maybe I could try that. And now what happened? He sat straighter, sat up. And all of these are insights you would not get if you just let the information passing by you. So therefore, listening, active listening. You know, I love telecom, all of you know, with 21 years in Ericsson. However, now we get so distracted all the time. Do you feel that way? Oh, my phone, I got notification. Even just now, I muted. I got the LinkedIn message just now. Do you see how we get distracted, which make listening sounds easy, not difficult. In real life, it can be really difficult. That's why sometimes I joke. There are different levels of listening too often because we're so preoccupied. So many different type of disturbance. We're at the lowest level, level 0. Like Janani, you were saying, oh my God, what I'm going to have for dinner today? Do I get another papaya? Do you see? And then, however, if we gradually move up, really start to practice, really focus on the speaker, what happened? You will have one, maybe you'll like it, maybe you will get used to it. All the coaches that I work with after they took program, and they said, you know, Evelyn, I got more phone call inviting me for coffee, more dinner, more lunch, more catch up. Why? Because too often, everybody is busy talking, sharing how you thought. Nobody is listening to you. Finally, here we go. Somebody is listening to me. I need to meet him again tomorrow. And the day after tomorrow. So therefore, active listening practice.
Yes, indeed. It's a great, gift to practice active listening, because active listening really helps you to connect with the people. For example, just before we start our session, you saw there was a technical glitch, right? Now, my mind, also as the coach of the conference, working, what would happen after that? There are 2 more sessions happening with that impact the other speakers as well. So my mind is just roaming around what's going to happen. Should I call the event manager right now? Whereas I know even my thinking will not going to help, right? Even though I think. So I bring back myself. So I need to know that now I am here, fully present to serve you. My thinking about or worrying about that session or the technical I want to serve this time, right? So being practice, by practicing active listening really helped me to connect back, because I'm here now to fully present for you, right? Yes.
I moved. I moved up. So we talk about asking questions. We also talk about how we could now at least you know how we should actively listen. And then to have a conversation, certainly questions, listening sounds good. Sometimes can be really helpful to have a simple structure. So today we're going to introduce a very, very simple structured approach. It's quite old also, possibly older than some of us. That's back in the 1970s, very old. However, very powerful. So it can be quite good for some of you if powerful question, coaching conversation is new. It's definitely a great start. So let's take a look at the structured model. Yeah. Having this structured model, and then you don't have to worry. When he's talking, what do I say next? And then, after he says that, what do I do? So with the structure, that always helps us to have a more meaningful conversation. So the structure, when we get started, certainly, it is not the friends catching up. If we're talking about really facilitate the generative conversation, meaningful conversation at work, there's a topic we're talking about. This is not about how do you like food. At work, when you talk about it, we're looking at what will be the goal. What goal would you like to achieve? Like, assume the challenge you have with your team. Yeah, and then what goal would you like to achieve with this team? How important is this topic for you? And sometimes, as you might have noticed, you might have asked people question, how do you like it? Have you ever got an answer? Somebody said, good, fine. And sometimes can be also helpful. Ask another question. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 meaning the most important, how important is this topic for you? And then that person can reflect. Okay, think, you see? Send the person thinking, come back, assume maybe, what is 10 out of 10? I couldn't sleep at night. It's so important. And we look into it. However, could of course be, yeah, it's bugging me. However, yeah, I have more important things to worry about. So therefore, that is the first part about goal-related conversation. After we explored what could be a possible goal and at the real goal, and what do? We start to look at the reality. And reality, in a way, from a plain English perspective, slightly a little bit confusing. Why? Because reality could be, how's your situation at this moment, which is a reality, agree? And reality could also include, goes backward a little. What have you tried while you were working with this team? What worked? What challenge did you face? Backward. Can also be forward as well. What are some plans you have in mind? What you were going to try if we didn't have this conversation? So therefore, that's about the R. So that is, now we have the G, the grow model, and now we have the R, reality. And after that, then is the O. If we have explored enough about reality, how the current situation is, you ask powerful question, the person start to have better and better awareness of the current situation in the past, what worked, what didn't, and possibly what could I try. Then we're paving the road to what options do you have? And if we maintain a very, very good relationship during this conversation, possibly you will feel, wow, you know, this is blue sky, sunny, you have a lot of energy, you can do it. And too often what happened when you open the door, even we're doing a virtual session, you still need to go back to reality. When you go back, it's not sunny, it has a thunderstorm, which is why the O for grow model, O not only just options, can also be obstacles. If we practice a little bit, what we talk about with asking 0 to 10 question. On the scale of 0 to 10, how confident option 1 will work for you? Not quite. Assume maybe your answer is an 8. What needs to happen to make that 8 into a 9 or a 10? Do you see? Now I'm preparing you for reality. What could be possible obstacles? And also all possibly could be opportunities. What are some other opportunities that's out there also maybe you have not considered? So therefore now comes to the grow model, the O, and goes to the last, that certainly will be the will. Sometimes because this model is so old, you will see some people will say will, willingness, wrap up is OW. And then that is to wrap up the conversation after you have explored. Okay, the reality, the options, the obstacle, and the possible opportunities, and then what do you plan to do? That's the most important, because having a meaningful conversation is to help you to build awareness, having new insights so that you can build a better understanding of your situation and come up with actions you feel confident for. So therefore, we're going to wrap up the conversation. What are you going to do? What will be the first little step you might want to take? Now, do you see how I send you to think again? Oh, okay, what could I be? And so that will complete our whole grow model. Now you have a structure.
Yes. And if I talk about today morning, Christian talked about the importance of transformative leadership, right? Especially in the age of AI. And that is where the leaders more and more need to talk about the tasks. We can find AI or tool to do the tasks, right? But the leader's role is evolving to have transformative or generative conversation. Now we talk about generative AI, right? What is generative AI? Oh, let's say ChatGPT, what does it do? It processes the past data, look at the patterns, and develop something new, right? New content. Similarly, people also have past data recorded in their minds. So it is the role of leaders to have these generative conversations, bring about creativity, new innovations, and new insights through a conversation like this. And that's why we have a simple structure here today to have a demonstration.
Fantastic. So now you have a structured model. You know you will ask open questions, you will actively listen, and then you have a structure to follow. And now we have built some essential skills to start to make our own conversation. Looking at how eager you are, I know you're very ready to practice again. Are we ready? Okay. Yes, okay, that's a little bit stronger. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah. So let's do a role play. We will facilitate a conversation now. Yeah. So there should be a handout already on your table. Yeah. And what we will do is that you will go back to your triad. Now, possibly, some of you start to regret, oh my God, I should have practiced. The last round is easier. Too late. So what you do is that now you will rotate your role, which means one now will act as the person with an important topic at work that you want to resolve. That could be your team, your project, your product prioritization, your stakeholder that drive you nuts. Could be any topic you have at work. And then what do we do? Then now the other person, that is, you will use the handout as a reference. And on the handout, there's a girl model with a list of questions that you can use as a reference. And you don't have to use it because some of you might feel, yeah, you know what, my mind just flows. You can just ask. If you feel, yeah, I don't know what to ask, take a quick glance. Don't keep reading. What do? You pick one, and you just find the power of it. Yeah. So if you know you're in the goal stage, okay, you don't know what to ask, assume you are really in that situation, take a quick scan and pick one. And you ask, you will find, wow, even that's powerful. So therefore, your job is to use the handout and follow the girl model and apply the skills, which is open question, number one. The second one is active listening. Don't forget to nod, your facial expression, and also ask questions. So therefore, that is the second person. The third person will observe. And you will be able to bring even more insight. Yeah? Let's first take a look. Any questions with our practice? Clear? All eager? Ready? Fantastic. Then we'll start. Let's do this for about 18 minutes. 18, not 17, not 19, exactly 18. I'm just joking. Okay, so then we get started. Have fun talking. Have a nice conversation. Hello. I hate to be the person again to interrupt your lovely conversation. And Janani said, you do it. So I'm doing it. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. How did you enjoy it? Really good? Fantastic. Fantastic. And then now if we do a little temperature check. Let's go a little bit taller, then it's better. So let's do a little temperature check. And the person who's following the girl model, that will be the coach. And the other person we call the coachee. And coachee, during the conversation just now, who spoke more? Coachee, lovely, fantastic, right? Because the coach is supposed to hold the space for the coachee to think and reflect, even deeper thinking. And also at the same time, how much more? You mean how much does the coach speak? Should I speak at all? Should I just be there, smile? So if during the conversation you feel, yeah, I was the coach, but I seem to maybe spoke a little bit more than the coachee, and then what do? Hold the space. Some of you, maybe you're a little fast counter, some of you a little bit slower. Normally I joke, I say, count to 10 in your head. Your coachee will speak. Why? Because the coachee is thinking. Too often we're the one who are not comfortable. So your job is to hold the space, silence, and you bring new insights. And now how about let's hear a few, share a little bit about your experience. How about if I actually nominate one pair? Because this triad, I listened to their conversation. That was beautiful. So if I could, can we pass the mic to our three-lady triad? How did you feel, observer?
Yeah, it felt great because so we are from the same company, so we had a bit of a background, so it was easy for us to move on with that question. So the person who asked the question, that was her, so she made the right gesture, the eye contact, and the question was put out in a very diplomatic way, and she answered in such a way that, so the connection was made at the beginning, so she went on relating her answer, and then she kept on the eye contact, and she did not interrupt, didn't look anywhere else, not even at the papers, I remember. So that connection was made, and that made her quite ease at letting out what was in her mind. So with that, I think the session went really well.
Fantastic. Anything to add, Coach?
Yeah, I think giving space to the coachee to talk is important. And actually, this was useful, the leaflet as well.
Fantastic. And Coachee, how did you feel about the space you had?
It was really good, and I really appreciate how she did not interrupt, she did not force me at all to answer. I had my own time, but I made sure to not rush or have any a big lag. So I think the connection that we built from the very first question actually made the conversation go in a very smooth manner.
Wow, such a powerful insight. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Any other triad or pair would like to share?
All right, so he was the observer, he was the coach, I was the coachee. So basically, we took the same topic. Now we have been talking about AI and everything. So we took it as an example. So he was asking me, so what do you think? Basically, I was asking him, what do you think? How should we move forward with integrating AI into our day-to-day work? So he was asking me a few questions here and there, and then I was explaining to him that what sort of options that we might have, what sort of barriers that we might have, and of course we talked about measuring, how to measure once we implement it. So while the conversation is halfway, the time went out.
So sorry.
So,
I feel so bad. Now I feel guilty.
No worries.
But you can carry on the conversation
Yeah.
after the break.
Yeah, but it was really good. So basically, to be honest, I think we interchange the roles a bit also. I wouldn't say we stick to one certain role, because he was also giving more options. I mean, I was thinking out loud, and of course he was also thinking out loud, being the coach. So that, I think that went quite both the ways. So I think it went a little beyond what we discussed here.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyways, we'll continue the conversation later.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And also for them, because they have been talking about AI, how to bring AI to your company. So in a way, they have the same topic. So that's why he shared his insights. Yeah, we change our role slightly. At the same time, we are working in a real working environment. If somebody is approaching you, I'm the product owner, I have challenge with my stakeholder. And who knows the situation about the stakeholder, the challenge about product the most? The person who had that problem. Agree? So that's why we want to give the space for this person. Wow, all of a sudden, with your help, I might be able to see so many different opportunities ahead of me. I could try that. That will work for me also. Too often, I see leaders start to feel, did you try this? Did you try that? And that normally happens. At the same time, now we remember also the person who's in that situation knows the situation the most. So therefore, give the room for them so that they can reflect and think. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And now let's do a little summary. Yep. So what I would like you to do is individually take 1 minute, reflect a little bit on the past hour. Think about if you were going to summarize a few takeaway message, what would that be? 1 minute. Think about if you're going to tell somebody what was discussed, what would you say? Now counter start. Okay, now what I would like you to do is to stand up, approach somebody on another table, 2 of you. What do? You talk and share about what's your takeaway, what's his or her takeaway for 2 minutes. So 2 people for 2 minutes, but you stand up, find a buddy on another table. Hello. Hello. Sorry to be the person again. Sorry to interrupt you when you're having so much fun and so meaningful conversation. So now if you could find a seat anywhere you want to sit. So time flew by fast. So that pretty much brings us to the end of our workshop today. So I live in Sweden. However, at the same time, with technology, how far am I? 1 message away, 1 video call away. So feel invited to reach out to me if you have any questions. I think about organization, leadership, product, coaching all the time. So feel invited to reach out to me if you have any questions and anything else. And so that's me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you so much, everyone. It's great to be part of this journey on introducing coaching for tech leaders. Yes, as tech leaders, we need to know AI and all these things, but same time, end of the day, we work with people, right? So people matters than anything else. So every tech leader needs to know how to work with people, how to get the best of your people, get their fullest potential. And that's where the coaching becomes highly influential toolbox for your tech leaders' journey. So if you'd like to know more about how to learn more about coaching, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Evelyn, and there is a QR code in the other side of the paper. You can scan it and share your details so we can share more details how you can learn further about coaching. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have time for Q&A, or how does it look?
How does it look? Do you have questions? What questions do you have?
Do you see? He changed his question. Yay!
I did that on purpose so that you'd see the difference. Most of the time we go to a conference and we ask, any questions? And that shuts us up. But the moment you ask, like Evelyn and Janani demonstrated, what questions? We do have questions, it's just that we are not coming forward with them. So what questions do you have? How about you? I saw you were very engaged with the questioning and observing. So, yes?
So it was a nice conversation between us, and we were the triad who knew from the earlier day, and we had one new mate who joined us today. So the conversations, the open questions opened us to talk about different situations coming from each other, and we had two coaches, one coach, two observers, together with Peter. So that was one good exercise. So I have to thank Evelyn and Janani to giving us this opportunity. Thank you
very much.
Thank
Give a round of applause, please.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. As we know, the whole workshop is 70 minutes with a technology glitch, so it's a little bit tight. And then we can stay for the whole day, even tomorrow if you want, to continue our conversation. But you know, I have now the catchy green color. If anything else, any questions during the workshop, during the conference, feel invited to reach out to us. And otherwise, well, I'm just one message away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Evelyn and Janani, I'd like you to remain on stage as I call upon from our organizing team, Vinuji and Harsha, to hand over 2 tokens of appreciation to them. There you go. Give them a round of applause, please. බොසාට දෙන්න යන්නේ gift එක. So, all right, round of applause there. Thank you, ladies, for an insightful session. One photo there, please. Yes.